Good morning and welcome to the Tech Aunties podcast. This is our Aunties live chat. We're here at the Capitol Factory House during South by Southwest in Austin, Texas. I'm Gina Rosenthal. I'm the CEO of Digital Sunshine Solutions, a fractional product marketing company. And I'm here with my co-host, Marian.
I'm Marian Newsom, and I am a IEEE certified AI governance and strategy technologist. And here today we have joining us a cybersecurity leader and powerhouse, and also a passionate advocate for DEI. Tanya, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Tanya Drummond, and I am basically transitioning from a full circle in life, coming from a space where I basically had my own businesses. I enjoyed interior design, helping people create things and find happiness in where they are. And then I went into a corporate world. Started to get into cybersecurity, now a cybersecurity professional, enjoying how to help people understand what to do with data, how to take care of it, where to put it, how to store it properly, how to destroy it. So basically, an enterprise data management program is what I led for a long time. And eventually leading people to do the right thing when it comes to taking care of data. And then now I'm transitioning into how to make people also with their lives and their careers find more comfort, kind of dressing that up as well. So I'd say a full transition in life, but
It all sounds
I'm
pretty
happy to be
similar.
with you.
Oh, we're happy you're here too, but it sounds very similar to me. I mean, if we're gonna, because this is our Aunties chat too, so we want to lighten it up some. But that all sounds super similar. You should like to help people, so
Does.
that sounds like what it is.
So is that your passion in helping people? Is that how you got involved with DEI and those efforts?
I would say so. People think that DEI is kind of a social issue, and secular space doesn't really fit with that. And that's partially true. But at the heart of us, we're social people. So when you're bringing a social topic like how to treat people and how to behave, how to make people feel good about themselves, you're literally making people feel good to be the human they are wherever they are.
So just in case we have some people, because I think everybody in the room knows what DEI is, but maybe not. So let's spell out that acronym to start with. I'm going to be the mean auntie this morning. I can see.
What did I do? Okay. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Thank you.
And so we've talked all week about AI and the impact of AI on people, on companies, on product marketing. And so we have one question we have asked most of our guests. First one is, what does the term auntie mean to you? So we are the tech aunties. Mm-hmm. What does aunties or do you even say it that way?
Yes, well, auntie coming from New York is probably more auntie. I find auntie is a Southern thing, which I have roots there.
She said that yesterday.
Absolutely. And they're like your favorite people. I mean, they're the ones that will tell you the truth, have the fun with you. So there's like training. You know, they kind of like train you in life. You watch them through their lives. They are way more open with you than they are with their own children. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that they're the people that you really look at to find out what life is really like. And they're usually cool and like I said, very honest. So they're the ones you go to when you really want to find out what's going on.
The next one, I'll let Gina ask you this because it is our man on the street kind of question around AI. So
yeah, we've been asking everybody this week. So do you think that AI is just a bunch of hype, or do you think it is a ray of digital sunshine?
I think it's both. We all realize we've been living with it for a while now. I mean, we're sitting with computers in our laps that is full of, I mean, I got here thanks to AI. I've never been to the Capitol Factory. So if I had to go pull out the map like we used to and not just ask my phone and have a nice voice tell me where to turn, and even where to park, I wouldn't be happy. So I'm going to say that there's been, there's a part of it that it fits very naturally into our lives. We rely on it. The hype, I would say, is because people are trying to make it something or want it to be something. I think that fits a lot of buckets that might not necessarily work that way. Humans will always be required simply because we were here first. So we will need to be here. You need to make strategy. You need to have things work. You need to have organization. You need to have innovation. I don't think that AI is going to give you all of that on its own. So the hype is all of a sudden everything is about finances. How do I save money? That's a hype about saving money. I think there's also a hype about what people want to call modernization and optimization. they feel that they can't have that without AI. I think that what they're really often saying is automation, right? You want to automate things and you want to work smarter. And if AI can be the tool for that, that's fantastic. It doesn't have to replace people. You need the smart people to work with the smart solutions, to help build those smart solutions. And there's always that matter of an expertise that's needed to ensure that what is that optimal or that innovative way is going to work for that company. You can't replace that. So it's hype and it's wonderful.
We've heard that is probably the number
Several
one here. That is
times.
both.
That is. So you talked about your transitioning. And so what is the problem you really want to solve with your new venture?
I've worked in a very fast-paced and difficult environment. Cybersecurity, all of that. I mean, it's 24/7. It's a very demanding environment. It's a male-oriented environment.
Yeah.
It is relentless with having to take care of and innovate and fix. I find that people who work jobs bring their lives to work. People always talk about being your authentic self. You can't help but be your authentic self. If you had a bad weekend, guess what? It's going to be with you on Monday.
Right.
So we have dimensions of our lives, and depending on our ages, we're dealing with a lot of difficult things.
Yeah.
You've got aging parents, you've got sicknesses, you've got growing children, or you've got grown children with grown problems. You have things in life that are happening. They come with you. So all of a sudden on a certain day, you're a little bit more stressed. You're not dealing well with someone in the hospital. You might have cancer. All kinds of things are happening. Well, you still have to get that job done, but you've lost sight of the fact that you're working with people. And being humane means being concerned as to why they don't seem the same that day. And I think that's the issue. And I find that I spent a lot of time trying to take care of the person, making them feel valid, whole, in order to be okay, to push a little bit about what's happening in their lives away to do this job. So help them learn new ways of dealing with that thing that they have on them today to still get the job done.
Do you think that you're kind of intermixing the AI theme here? Do you think there's any way that AI can help with that emotional work and that emotional burden that all of us, I think, have to play when we're working in these complex environments?
That's an interesting question. But the first thing I thought of when you were saying that is, if I could take the stress out of doing manual things or things that drive me crazy, or just not working smart, you've already brought my emotions into the circumstance or the situation where it shouldn't have been, and I'm already having a bad time. So if I'm coming into work and the way I have to do my job is just dumb, it's not smart, it's not easy, it's not simple,
Right.
then I'm already in a bad place. So yes, it can be a way of making people feel better because they know that whatever time they're going to spend, I'm going to get the maximum amount of work done in a very easy and simplistic way with the right tools and for the right reason and in the right way of showing the value of that work. So yeah, I think AI, that's how I used AI when I was working.
But do you think that the way it's being rolled out in companies and hyped up as savings and optimization is kind of raising that anxiety and really kind of having the opposite effect?
Absolutely the opposite effect. If you tell people that we want you to work better, we want to make your life easier, we want to make sure that we have the right people with the right tools, using the right technology, with the right team, with the right leader to make you feel good about your job, then everyone will jump on board and say, AI is my friend. But if you say we're going to reduce or we're going to be effective or optimization somehow sounds like money savings, then your job is not going to be here. Who feels good about that?
Yeah.
Right.
I think another kind of twist to it is was watching a editorial the other night about AI girlfriends. It wasn't even boyfriends.
Okay. I also saw.
You saw this, right? This whole idea. And I was watching kind of like a walkthrough with a psychologist saying it's The problem's not, it's for men who can't connect with women. And
Right.
it helps them connect with women. But there's this epidemic of loneliness with the men, which is causing all sorts of other problems, right? So how do you resolve that epidemic of loneliness? And one way they're looking at doing it was with AI girlfriends. So they have somebody to talk that will pay attention to them and listen to them. What about that? Is there any kind of, I'm thinking you don't like this idea. Oh wait, okay. I was just telling you what I saw.
I also saw it. My first reaction is, why is it that men are they the only people that get lonely? I want to make sure I understand.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, and so I don't think it's still not a connection with a person. But I'll let the guests answer. I'll save my rant for later, the after show, the after party.
That people are choosing non-human solutions to emotional problems. I feel like that's a recipe for more problems.
It is.
The other thing I thought of was, okay, all of this I had to get past it's kind of just like having a girlfriend in Canada, right? So,
but it's not. She actually has emotions. She's out seeing the town. She's not just, searching the internet and scrubbing data about, yes, I'm lovely today.
You want to meet her. You cannot meet her if that isn't deep.
And then what if, I know we're talking tech today, but what if your love language really isn't, I just need someone to look at me and tell me how great I am? You're still unfulfilled. You might as well talk to a plant. At least they grow and give smells back.
Wow.
But we're getting off track.
That was a good topic.
But we're not really getting off topic here because, what happens? I just am saying, I was interesting the way that the guy that I saw that was reviewing how they do the reviews of the videos and they show the video and keep going. It was very interesting how he was coming about it because he's a psychologist and talking about his clients and pretty much had the same reactions. Like, we need to solve the human problem with humans.
Right.
And then all of this is okay. But the security that gets to security, what happens to all of the chat logs and everything? And if there's some kind of interface that's able to see the human interacting with the avatar, and that's what's reading and giving back information, where is all that information going and what will it be training in the future? And is that being sold to nefarious purposes? It's a whole big open field of what happens to that data.
That's a topic that we probably could go on with forever because there are very few people that work in security or cybersecurity or any sort of data security environment that feels happy about this whole open chat AI environment. And that's simply because if your role is to protect, and it's not just protect from a cyber perspective, it's protecting laws and rights that people have as well.
Right.
It's a holistic environment when you're going to include legal and privacy and security together. They go together, and there's all kinds of violations there.
Especially privacy.
There is a whole process of fear when it comes to where people want to go with this and how it can be protected and how people's rights can be protected. I think there's going to be a little bit of throttling of this, which I hope is going to happen, because you can't just unleash newness without having some sort of understanding and regulation and helping people not break rules to get it done. So I hope that it's throttled just enough to be able to bring some sanity and some real time law and real time protection.
Yeah, that's what's the frustrating thing, because you can, we worry about the security and, and those kind of things and the absolute flaunting of laws, which is what, the tech bros in Silicon Valley have done for a very long time to get their products out the door. But there's also so much promise. I mean, like we talked to Ganesh yesterday from Autonomize AI and the stuff they're doing to try to make things easier for doctors and especially for the clinicians that work approving. Like one of the use cases he gave us was approving requests for treatments or medicines and everything. Like, it's just such a difficult thing because the humans aren't fast enough and the humans can't read all the data they need to read. They just can't do it in a fast enough. People's comfort and health and life on the line. Everybody wants that to improve. So there's
Yes.
so much promise to do really amazing things. And there's so much greed trying to just grab at what everybody sees as a land grab to get the technology out there in whatever kind of form they can get it out there and make some money on.
So I think that's why it's important. I said this yesterday. We really need to have a good definition around when we say tech is good. Is it good for everyone? And so, like Ganesh's use case, the prior authorization, it is good. It's for the common good. AI girlfriend, it's good for some people, but it's not for the greater good.
And it's probably good in a therapeutic situation, right? Like where maybe if you're so afraid to go outside or so afraid to communicate with somebody, right? And this is used to give you a little bit of confidence to try it with real people. That could be fantastic.
Right, I could see it in that setting. But not only do you bring up ethical issues, privacy and security issues, there's some moral issues when you start getting into human relationships. So I'm the ex-wife or I'm the new girlfriend. I want to see that chat log. I want to know what are you and this thing talking about?
Wow, you went there fast. That's a good point. I mean, about that.
Right. So it could be subpoena in divorces, child custody cases.
Because it's all discoverable. Absolutely.
Right. So you go from lonely to, I wish I'd never seen this thing. Real people, exes. We're getting a little off track and we can save the AI because I'm not for it. I'm just going to come out. I'm going to just state it.
I like it.
I think that's for the after party. I think but let's talk about your passion around DEI and with the current landscape politically and AI and all of those things really coming into play. How does that impact DEI efforts?
I've been noticing, as we all have, that there was a few years ago, there was a very strong social situation. And that social situation created real strong emotions that came back to work. It probably was the height of what I would consider is the most DEI function I've ever seen. People were asked about how they felt. They were kind of pushed into discussing how they felt about the situation. Since then, of course, as you mentioned, politically, there was an executive order and some things have changed. And I'm seeing that there's probably a push away from the DEI focus. I don't think that people changed with how they feel about what's right and wrong. I think that it probably came about in a way that wasn't sustainable. To call it DEI and to have a focus and to call it a business imperative for a company to focus on treating people better is probably flawed in the first place. If you choose to think about people, think about what they need, doing what's right for them. In other words, if they're skilled, you pay them. If they're different, you embrace them because variety makes us all happy. If they feel somehow separate, you make sure that they feel included and want to be there at work. If those things are done on a regular basis, do you really need to have a full-blown program that somehow pushes people to understand how to be a better person toward others? An organization is led by their leaders. And if they see themselves in their leadership, in other words, they see gender and different colors in the leadership, that's already a variety and a diversity that's going to help the company. As they hire like themselves, then you continue to have variety. If you are kind to people because you realize that this person is important and you need them for that job, they're going to feel included. They're going to feel good about being there, bringing their best selves. If you pay them because they're doing a good job and you make sure they know that they're being paid well because they're doing a good job, they're going to stay. It's about the human factor of making people feel valued. If you value your workers, they will feel valued. And if that is happening, you don't need a defined DEI program that's supposed to make them or make people more aware of how to be kind and how to bring their better selves to work. I think that's what's missing. You can't make it a movement. You have to make it the culture of the company, but it has to start from the top. You can't have a bunch of people who look the same talking about diversity to people who don't look the same, and then act like that's okay for everyone to just push it forward as an initiative. It has to be inherently built in the company, the way it looks, the way it acts, the way it feels.
I don't know. I'm gonna just push back, 'cause you know me.
I push back on the
I-
girlfriend, so go ahead.
Thank you for your permission to push back. We've all worked in these big tech organizations that have been around for a long time, 30 years plus. When it was, and I still in my head can't grok how there have been women working in tech from the very beginning, and we're still the situation we are. That just does make no sense to me. But that says to me that there has to be some kind of regulations. There has to be some kind of process put into the organizations, because I don't see that being put on a federal level to protect us all. So, the question becomes like, sure, if you're a new company coming out, maybe you can build it into the culture coming out.
Right.
But if you're a company who's been around for a while, you're going to have to dismantle that culture. And I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm not working, in big tech anymore, in a big tech company, is because I got tired of my ideas being stolen, and making money for other people. So now I give my ideas to my clients and they pay me, and it's awesome. So that's kind of my big pushback is I don't see, I'll give an example, and I think it's pick on Google week because we've already picked on them once, but let's go again. Because Google says do no harm, or it used to be, that's what it used to say. They've changed it. Or they've eliminated that from, their website, just like they eliminated Google Reader, but I won't get into that.
Google ethical team.
The Google ethical team, they get rid of everything. So I read an article last night about a Black woman who's also deaf, who got a job, and they pushed her out, like you're just saying. I think this is probably where the tie-in is, right? To what you were saying, to what I'm trying to say. They pushed her out and trotted her out as the representative of their amazing DEI efforts. This woman is Black and deaf, and she loves being here. And what she signed when she signed up was she had to have a sign language interpreter there for her at every meeting, no matter what. And what she got signed up to do was evaluating videos for the safety team, which breaks my heart because I don't think anybody should be doing that, but that's a whole other story. So she had to have someone there because she couldn't all the time, if the sounds are off screen, she can't hear them. She'd have to have somebody telling her what's going on. And she got there, and like the second day, they didn't let her have it. Mm-hmm. And then it went on to where they basically were like, no, this is privacy, and we can't have her in the room. You can ask her questions, but you can't have her interpreting for you anymore. So they moved her. She got with the other diversity, helped some other diversity people there. They moved her into an AI ethics position, an AI safety. I don't think they call it ethics now. AI safety place. And they would not let her have anybody in meetings, citing confidentiality. In addition, they didn't keep with one person to help her. It was a different contractor every day, and she would have to explain the technical terms over and over and over again every time they did it. So she's suing them for diversity reasons, for not having a safe, equal workplace, and not doing what they promised her they do when they signed up. So they're trotting this person out to say this is what we're doing, but at the same time they're not doing it at all. Mm-hmm. So I think that she's going through the legal system, and hopefully they will prevail, because to me, how could she not have a good case? And how could Google do anything but settle with her? And I don't know if she's still working there or not, but like how could you not? To me, that it's just that makes no sense. It's them. It's about money. It's about I have a daughter who's on the spectrum. I know just even her coming up through school, it's about money. Even in the schools, they don't want to provide accommodations. You have to fight for it.
Absolutely.
It's because those accommodations are expensive. And so, yes, we should all be kind, and we should all learn about everybody else. But employers have to hire the right person for the job. And if they've agreed to give accommodations, then they have to pay out for those accommodations. And hopefully the the payout from that person's contribution, because they're so different and come at things from such a different angle, is going to be more than worth what you're paying for the accommodation. But they don't see it that way.
No.
So I think there's kind of like a tie-in together, but I don't think companies will do this because there's a financial hurdle they have to get over to make these things work, and I don't think they want to do it.
I think you're right.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
You're right in the fact that there are a lot of companies that are not going to change.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely right with that. And yes, what I was talking was about fundamentals of just people and behaviors. But strongly entrenched and systemic issues will always exist.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's because they allow the company to help regulate how they're doing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's where it has to be an outside group looking in to say, you don't look like the community that you serve.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're doing what we ask you to do with trying to be, humane and compassionate and aware, And maybe that's what it is, because when you self-regulate, you will justify anything and everything you do. And that's why things continue to stay the same.
And
the mix of what you and I are saying is it needs to come, but not from inside, because you can't change yourself when you all look alike and think alike. And then eventually the bottom line is money. It's never going to go toward the right thing to do. It's going to go toward the thing that they think they need to do.
Right.
So it needs to be someone on the outside going, some of you need to go home. Others of you need to come in, and we need this new blood to continue so that we can continue this new way.
Yeah, because some of the old blood, I can remember, I'll just say a former employer, I would name them if you guys weren't here, but a former employer that I had during, and I've been long gone from them, during the Me Too movement. I remember seeing some of the executives that I know that they were involved with some sexual misconduct cases, let's put it that way, where the women were paid off. Mm-hmm. And they were the ones speaking about, oh, we're not like this. And like, how are you should just be ashamed of yourself. They're talking about this.
It's but that's the club.
Yeah.
That's the club we're talking about that has to be broken up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to push back a little this time. So you said an outside view. I really think it has to be the shareholders. The bottom line is money. It has to be those shareholders that step up and say, hey, we need to be representative of the communities we serve. Because until we get to really talking about the money, Gina knows I like money. Until we get to talking about the money and how it's going to affect that bottom line, I don't think we'll see a lot of change.
Yeah. Because it's always been said that, diversity is something that does assist a company with being more, productive, which then adds up to
money. No, it does. You need a diverse set of people to catch problems in a product, to spark that innovation for a new product. We talked about this the other day. I used to sit in meetings where, we were naming products. So I've been a product marketer for a while, and I'd be, what's the name of the product again? What's the acronym going to be? Let me look in the Urban Dictionary. No, we cannot name it that. Can't name it that. Can't do it. So, you need someone that's going to be like that.
Right.
Well, we are at the end of our time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I will say this. This was a great day for me. I'm surrounded by my community of support. I've known Tanya for over 18 years. Gina is like a sister to me. And so great day for me. I get to be surrounded by my community.
Great day for me too. Thank you for coming. It's nice to meet you. I hear about you all the time. So it's good to meet you. Well, Tanya, how can people find you, or did you want to share anything you're working on with our audience?
I'll tell you, because it's this brand new transition, you're just going to have to find me in LinkedIn. You'll see what I used to do, and you'll soon learn what I'm going to do.
Okay, all right. That sounds great.
My advice to everyone is, I think my happiest word to use is to be curious and to enjoy. Those two things have to be what you do. And if somehow you're losing it in what you're doing for your career or your life, change it.
Yeah. I love that advice a lot.
I love that.
Love it. So I will say goodbye. So You can find me on LinkedIn, it's Gina Rosenthal, and digitalsunshinesolutions.com. If you are needing to just talk through some of this and need some advice, or through any of your product marketing needs, you can go there and set up a free consultation with us.
And I'm Marian Newsom. You can find me on LinkedIn. And I guess we're signing off. We'll see you at 11.